Let's begin. You didn't fail because you weren't smart enough. You didn't fail because the world was unfair. You didn't fail because you didn't try hard. You failed because people didn't trust you. And if that hurts to hear, good, because truth is the first step to transformation. Trust is everything. It's the foundation of leadership, the currency of connection, the engine behind every great relationship, career, business, and legacy. Without trust, your talent means nothing. Without trust, your words fall flat. Without trust, your vision goes unseen. And here's the harsh part. Most people never say out loud, if your life isn't moving forward, it might be because people don't trust you yet. So let's tell the truth. You said you'd follow through and you didn't. You said you'd show up on time and you didn't. You said you'd be consistent and you weren't. You said, I got this, but then disappeared when it mattered most. And now you wonder why people hesitate, why they stop calling, why they smile but don't support, why they nod but never invest. It's not because they're against you. It's because they don't believe you. And belief, that's earned. One decision at a time, one moment at a time, one brick at a time. So ask yourself, what's it like to trust you? Are you the kind of person others can bet their time on, their money on, their reputation on? Or are you all promise, no proof? All motivation, no consistency? Because trust isn't about grand gestures. It's not built with loud words or clever branding. It's built with quiet integrity. It's what you do when nobody's watching. It's whether you deliver when it's inconvenient. It's whether you keep your word when it costs you. If people can't trust your yes or your no, they'll never trust your vision. And maybe that's why the door didn't open. Not because you weren't worthy, but because you weren't ready. Because if you can't be trusted in the small things, how can you be trusted with the big ones? Here's the truth no one tells you. Trust is not a feeling, it's a reputation. And reputation is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So what are they saying? Reliable, solid, under pressure, rock steady, quietly consistent, always follows through, doesn't overpromise, doesn't underdeliver, just shows up and delivers every time. Or are they saying something else? Flaky, all talk, nice, but you never know what you'll get. Disappears when it counts. Can't count on them. Your name carries a weight. Light or heavy, that's your choice. Because trust is your brand, not your logo, not your feed, not your pitch, your character. And here's what no one tells the dreamers. Your dreams won't come true until you become trustworthy enough to hold them. So build trust. Build it when it's boring. Build it when you're tired. Build it when nobody's watching. Build it when there's no applause. And if you broke trust before, you can rebuild it. It won't be quick. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Because when people start trusting you again, doors don't just open, they stay open. And the deeper your trust, the wider your reach. You want leadership? Earn trust. You want loyalty? Earn trust. You want influence, opportunity, growth, freedom? Earn trust. It's not sexy, but it's real. So from now on, show up when you say you will. Deliver what you said you would. Say what you mean what you say. And when you mess up, own it. No excuses, no hiding, no blaming, just radical responsibility. Because that's the kind of person the world follows. That's the kind of person teams rally behind. That's the kind of person strangers believe in. That's the kind of person you were born to become. So build trust, slowly, daily, privately, deeply. Because when trust is in place, momentum is unstoppable. And when it's broken, no amount of talent will save you. Let your habits speak louder than your hype. Let your actions scream louder than your ambition. Let your integrity make promises. Your mouth doesn't need to. And remember, people don't remember what you said. They remember how you showed up, how you stayed solid, how you owned it, how you made them feel safe. Because when people feel safe around you, they follow, they invest, they commit, they promote you, they open doors, they change your life. Not because you begged, not because you sold them, but because you built something rare. You built trust. And when you've built trust, truly built it, no failure can break you. Because you're not building a moment. You're building a reputation. You're building something that lasts longer than the paycheck, the title, the hype. You're building you. Now go earn it. Every hour, every interaction, every decision. Be the person people trust, even when they don't have to. Especially when they don't have to. Because that's how you go from overlooked to undeniable. That's how you go from forgotten to unforgettable. You don't need to raise your voice. You don't need to flex your muscles. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Because when your mind is strong, truly strong, the room feels it before you even speak. A strong mind doesn't chase attention. It commands respect, not through arrogance, but through undeniable presence. You see, most people build bodies. Some build brands. But very few ever build the one thing that changes everything. A mind so solid, so unshakable, so brutally clear, it terrifies mediocrity. Why? Because a strong mind doesn't need agreement. It doesn't crumble under pressure. It doesn't panic when the plan falls apart. It adapts. It recalibrates. It rises. You want to become unstoppable? Then forget impressing others. Forget fitting in. Forget being liked. Build a mind that doesn't flinch. Build a mind that says, this storm, let it come. Build a mind that scares people, not because you're cruel, but because you're clear. Because your silence is louder than their shouting. Because your calm exposes their chaos. Because your presence makes them realize they haven't done the work. And that kind of power, it isn't born. It's forged. Then let's build it. Because a strong mind isn't something you're born with, it's something you train. And the first step? Embrace discomfort like it's your mentor. Most people run from discomfort. They label it as pain. They escape into distraction, into comfort, into anything that numbs the sting. But a strong mind? It runs toward it. Not because it enjoys suffering, but because it understands that discomfort is data. It's proof that you're stretching. It's evidence that you're outgrowing your limits. It's the raw material of transformation. A weak mind says, this is too hard. A strong mind says, this is how I grow. Every challenge becomes training. Every setback becomes feedback. Every no becomes fuel. And when you stop avoiding discomfort, you stop avoiding power. Step 2, ruthlessly control your input. You can't build a strong mind with junk thoughts, just like you can't build a strong body with junk food. If your mind is constantly flooded with gossip, fear, noise, and comparison, how can you expect it to think clearly, create powerfully, or act decisively? A strong mind is a guarded gate. It doesn't let everything in. It filters. It chooses. It protects its peace like a fortress. Because once your attention is hijacked, your clarity is gone. And without clarity, you can't lead. You can't build. You can't stand. Want mental strength? Then master what you watch. Master what you listen to. Master who you allow to speak into your world. You don't have to cut everyone off, but you do have to guard your influence because your mind becomes what it consumes. Step 3, train your focus like it's your life force, because it is. Distraction is the enemy of power, not because it's loud, but because it's subtle. It doesn't destroy you with force, it erodes you with fragments. One notification at a time, one scroll at a time, one excuse, one delay, one mental tab left open for too long. And before you know it, your mind is no longer yours. But a strong mind, it's not just focused. It's ruthlessly focused. Because here's the truth. Where your focus goes, your life follows. Where your attention flows, your identity forms. And if you don't train your focus, the world will train it for you. You want to scare mediocrity? Then lock in. Set blocks of time where you're unreachable. Cut off digital noise. Silence the world so you can hear yourself think, so you can build the internal stamina to stay locked into a task long after the world would have quit. Because this world doesn't need more people with ideas. It needs people with the concentration to execute them. Focus isn't something you have. It's something you practice. And the more you practice, the less space you give to doubt, to drama, to distraction. And when that becomes who you are, people feel it. They don't understand it, but they respect it. They can't manipulate you. They can't shake you. They can't pull you into every crisis because you're anchored. Step 4, make your word law. If you say you're going to do it, do it. Even if no one sees. Even if no one claps. Even if you're the only one holding yourself to that standard. Why? Because a weak mind negotiates with itself. A strong mind, it executes. It doesn't wait to feel like it. It doesn't beg for motivation. It moves because it said it would. Discipline isn't punishment. It's self-respect. And when your word becomes law, you stop chasing confidence. You become it. You embody it. You no longer need to convince anyone of your strength because your consistency speaks louder than your voice ever could. Then, let's finish what we started. Because building a strong mind doesn't end with discipline. It evolves into something deeper, something rare. Step 5, master your emotions or they will master you. Understand this. Your mind cannot be strong if your emotions control your decisions. And emotional strength is not about being cold, stoic, or distant. It's about ownership. It's being able to feel the fear and still move forward. To feel the pressure and stay calm anyway. To feel the weight of the world and not let it bend you out of shape. A weak mind reacts. A strong mind responds. It sees the storm and chooses how to sail through it, not how to scream at the waves. You want real power? Then don't let anger speak for you. Don't let fear drive your choices. Don't let disappointment shut you down. Train your emotional muscle. Pause. Observe. Breathe before you respond. Own your internal world so deeply that no external event can steal your peace. Because when you master your emotions, you become unshakable. You become the eye of the hurricane. You become the stillness in a world addicted to reaction. And that calm terrifies people because it shows them what's possible when someone actually does the inner work. Step 6, choose solitude over noise. Most people can't sit alone in silence. They need constant stimulation, a screen, a voice, a distraction. Because if they're quiet for too long, they'll hear the truth they've been avoiding. But a strong mind seeks solitude. It chooses stillness, not because it's easy, but because it's where clarity lives. Because silence sharpens vision. Because alone is where you meet your real self. You want to scare the world? Be the one who's comfortable with themselves, who doesn't need a crowd to feel validated, who doesn't need attention to feel alive, who can disappear for a season and come back 10 times sharper. That kind of person, that's who changes rooms. That's who shifts cultures. That's who leads. And finally, step 7, think long, act daily. The strongest minds are vision-driven. They don't need instant results to stay committed. They don't need overnight applause. They plant deeply and build slowly because they're not after a quick win. They're building an empire that lasts. They move with urgency but never panic. They move with pace, but never desperation, because they know where they're going. And nothing can rush a mind that has already decided its outcome. So build that mind, brick by brick, habit by habit, thought by thought. And one day, you won't need to say a word. You'll walk into a room, and your presence alone will say, I am not here to be impressive. I am here because I've built something that cannot be shaken. Not loud, not flashy, just unignorable. That's the kind of mind that scares everyone, because it can't be moved. And when you build that, you don't just win. You redefine what power looks like. There comes a time in every life when you stop asking for permission, when you stop waiting for the world to get easier, when you stop bending to the noise and start listening to something far more powerful, your own alignment. That's the moment your life changes. Not when you get a raise, not when you buy the house, not when the world applauds. It changes the moment you finally understand this. There are rules, unwritten, unshakable, unbreakable, not rules made by society, not imposed by someone else's expectations, but rules carved into the very fabric of how excellence, purpose, and fulfillment are born. And when you align your life with these rules, not just at work, not just in success, but in everything you do, that's when you rise. So today, I'm not here to inspire you. I'm here to recalibrate you, because deep down, you already know these truths. You felt them in the silence, in the struggle, in those moments when you could have chosen comfort, but something in your soul whispered, go further. That whisper is your integrity. And today, we give it a voice. 1. Be the kind of person people can count on, even when it's inconvenient. Especially then, because the world is full of people who show up when it's easy. You will be remembered for how you act when it's not. Show up when no one claps. Serve when no one thanks you. Keep your word not because someone's watching, but because you are. Reputation is what they say about you. But character is what you say to yourself when no one's looking. Be undeniable in your integrity, unshakable in your discipline, relentless in your follow-through, because trust is the currency that builds empires, and it's earned brick by brick through every quiet decision. 2. Never outsource your standards. Your standard is your signal to the world. It tells people what you will accept and what you never will. And if you let the world lower that for you, even once you teach them how to treat you, you teach your job, your relationships, your friends, even your own mind, that mediocrity is okay, but it's not. You weren't built to tolerate average. You were built to lift the bar for yourself and for others. 3. What you tolerate becomes your truth. Tolerate gossip, you become noise. Tolerate chaos, you lose your clarity. Tolerate excuses, and they will multiply. Because every time you allow less than your values, you make a silent agreement to stay small. So choose wisely. Not out of fear, but out of alignment. You don't need to be loud to be powerful. You just need to be clear, crystal clear. 4. Honor the work even when it's unseen. There is no such thing as behind the scenes, because every detail is building who you are becoming. Sweep the floor like it's a stage. Send the email like it's a signature. Train like someone's life depends on it, because one day it might. Excellence is not a result. It's a rhythm, a way of walking, a way of breathing, a way of treating the ordinary with extraordinary care. That's the secret the world never told you. The difference between average and exceptional is rarely talent. It's devotion. 5. Protect your energy like it's gold. Because it is. Energy is your presence, your perception, your power. It's how you enter a room. It's how you recover from loss. It's how you build when you're tired and lead when you're under fire. And in a world addicted to speed, noise, and distraction, your energy is under attack every day. Guard it. Don't give it away cheaply. Not to drama, not to doubt, not to distractions disguised as opportunity. Choose your focus the way a warrior chooses his weapon. Deliberately, strategically, unapologetically. 6. Learn faster than you fail. Because failure isn't your enemy, stagnation is. Mistakes don't ruin you, denial does. If you're willing to extract the lesson, nothing is wasted. The biggest difference between those who win and those who stay stuck isn't intelligence. It's integration. It's what you do after the fall, after the embarrassment, after the disappointment. Do you justify or do you evolve? Because failure is feedback, and feedback is gold if you're willing to mine it. So fall, but fall forward. Bleed, but build. Break, but rebuild with better hands, better eyes, better wisdom. 7, make peace with repetition. Because mastery is boring before it's brilliant. Most people quit because they confuse boredom with misalignment. But repetition is not failure, it is refinement. The greats don't look for new all the time. They look to go deeper. They repeat the fundamentals. They return to what matters. They swing the hammer again and again until every strike becomes poetry. Until what was once effort becomes instinct. Until excellence becomes identity. 8, keep promises to yourself like your life depends on it, because it does. Every time you say, I'll do it, and you don't, you teach your mind to distrust your word. And when you stop trusting your word, you stop trusting your power. You don't need more motivation. You need more follow-through. Start small if you must, but start and don't stop. Because your confidence is not built in hype. It is built in hidden, quiet, gritty consistency. Brick by brick, breath by breath. 9, stop trying to be liked. Start trying to be effective. You are not here to decorate the room, you are here to shift it. You are not here to be popular. You are here to be aligned. Let people misunderstand you. Let them label you. Let them judge your pace. Just don't let them write your story. Speak truth anyway. Act with intention anyway. Build what matters anyway. Because a life built on authenticity will outlast every trend, every critic, every crowd that ever walked away. 10, never forget who you're becoming. Because in the daily grind, it's easy to get lost in the doing and forget the becoming. But the real work is not what you produce, it's what you embody. It's not just what you accomplish, it's who you become in the process. And when you measure success by alignment, not applause, by progress, not perfection, you win at a level the world can't define and can never take from you. So what do you do now? You live the rules. Not sometimes, not when it's convenient, not when you're motivated, but every day, in silence, in pressure, in progress. Because these rules aren't here to decorate your journal, they are here to define your legacy. Anyone can talk about success. Anyone can wear ambition like fashion. But only a few will live by code, not because it's easy, but because it's true. You want to rise? Then root yourself. You want freedom? Then earn it through discipline, through devotion, through decisions that don't look glamorous but make you unshakable when the storms come. Because they will come. And when they do, your golden rules are not just ideas, they're your shelter, your spine, your sword. Let others chase approval. Let others seek applause. You build. Quietly, fiercely, consistently. Because the world doesn't remember noise. It remembers impact. It remembers those who walked in truth when it was hard. Those who built when it would have been easier to break. Those who stood tall when the world tried to make them small. These rules, they're not about being perfect. They're about being aligned. About building a life where your heart, your habits, your words, and your walk all say the same thing. And that kind of life, that's power, that's peace, that's purpose. So write these rules on your mirror, speak them into your mornings, let them echo in your silence. And when no one's watching, that's when you live them loudest. That's when you become undeniable. Because in the end, it's not the world's rules that shape you, it's the ones you refuse to break for anyone. Live by those. And the life you're chasing will start chasing you. There is a force inside you right now, untapped, unshaken, unbreakable. Not because you're special in some mystical way, but because you are human. And being human means being born with potential so vast, most people never touch it. They don't touch it because they've been taught not to. Taught to stay quiet. Taught to play safe. Taught to follow instead of led. Taught to dim the light so others feel comfortable in the dark. But let me tell you something you might have forgotten. You were not born to be manageable. You were born to be magnificent. And the greatest tragedy, it's not that people fail. It's that they never try because they've never seen what's possible inside themselves. There is power in you, not the loud kind, not the showy kind, but the kind that shifts everything the moment you awaken it. It's the power of clarity, the power of conviction, the power of choice. You don't need to look for it outside. It's already there, buried beneath layers of self-doubt, shame, silence, and the stories you've repeated for years. Stories like, I'm not enough. I'm too late. Someone else already did it better. Lies. Every one of them. You want to harness your power? Then you must confront what's burying it. You must silence the world long enough to hear the roar inside you. You must walk into the storm, not because it's safe, but because that's where your strength is forged. You must choose to stop asking for permission and start giving yourself authority. Because the truth is, no one is coming to unlock you. That key, it's in your hands. And the lock is not on the door, it's in your mind. Because the most dangerous lie you've ever believed is that your power needs to be given to you. That somehow someone out there holds the switch. That someday when conditions are right, when the timing is perfect, when the fear goes away, then you'll rise. No, you don't rise when it's easy. You rise when you decide that enough is enough. You rise when the pain of staying small finally outweighs the fear of being great. You rise when you stop negotiating with mediocrity. When you stop waiting to be saved. When you stop blaming the past and start building your future brick by brick, belief by belief, choice by choice. Because the truth is this, you are not powerless. You are not broken. You are not behind. You're just dormant. And dormancy ends the moment you decide to wake up. You want to harness your power? Then stop trying to feel ready. Stop trying to get it perfect. And start moving through resistance. Start owning your identity. Start protecting your fire. Because you have one. Even if it's just a flicker right now, it's there. And that flicker, it's enough. Because every wildfire started with one stubborn spark. But sparks need oxygen. They need belief. They need motion. They need you to breathe life into them through action. Not once, but every day. You can't outsource this. You can't delegate your destiny. You can't fake power. You either own it or it owns you. And let me say this clearly. You don't become powerful when the world sees you. You become powerful when you finally see yourself. When you look in the mirror and stop asking, what am I missing? And start declaring, everything I need is already within me. Then let's finish this not with inspiration, but with ignition. Because real power isn't loud. It doesn't scream for attention. It commands space without begging for it. It walks into the room and the atmosphere changes. Not because of volume, but because of presence. And presence comes from wholeness, from finally standing in the truth of who you are, without apology, without disguise, without dilution. That's the moment everything changes. When you stop playing small to protect someone else's comfort. When you stop shrinking because the world told you to be humble. Listen, humility isn't pretending you're less. True humility is owning your gifts so deeply you serve the world with them. Because your power isn't for domination. It's for illumination. It's to walk so boldly in your light that others remember their own. You want to know the secret to real, unstoppable power? It's not control. It's not domination. It's not perfection. It's integrity. It's alignment. It's living in such deep truth that nothing can shake you out of it. No criticism, no praise, no failure, no fame. Just you, solid, steady, grounded, in who you are and where you're going. Because once you harness the power within you, the world outside you can no longer control you. You no longer chase you, attract. You no longer beg, you build. You no longer ask, you embody. And people feel it. They listen differently. They trust you. Not because you're the loudest, but because you're the clearest. Because in a world full of noise, you walk with signal. So stop asking when it's your time. Stop waiting for the right moment. Stop thinking you need more credentials, more followers, more permission. You already have everything it takes. You always have. And if you'll just make the decision today, right now, to stop ignoring the fire and start feeding it, start fanning it, start living from it, then you'll wake up one day and realize you didn't find your power. You remembered it. You reclaimed it. You finally let it lead. And from that day forward, you didn't just live. You lit the way.